The air-cooled 911 is a revered piece of industrial design. It's the most adored sports car on the planet. But when it comes to restorations, Porsche fans often divide into two camps. On one side are the purists that believe 911s should remain as perfect time capsules, and then there are the others, like Rennsport, who prefer to cherry-pick from Porsche's greatest hits to build you the car you really want. Rennsport, of course, is best known for its RS and RSR tribute cars. That homologation special from 1973 with its duck-tailed rear spoiler and deep-chinned front air dam. But for the latest build, Paul Cockrell and his team have decided to celebrate a much rarer and far lesser known racing special, the 2.3 litre 911 ST of 1971. After experiencing the Rennsport 911 ST on some of these glorious roads in the Cotswolds, I wanted to speak to Paul Cockrell a little bit more about the build. Why the ST then? Why have you taken a couple of years backwards?
We've built a lot of RSs and RSR cars over the years. We're sort of coming up to our 100th car soon, so there's quite a few that we've done. And the ST, I just feel, is just more of an organic shape, and I just think it's just smoother, cleaner. There's fashion that goes through on the cars as well. You know, one minute everybody wants ducktails, next minute they want flat boot lids. It keeps the cute look of the early 911, but then it's just beefed up a bit wider.
So this started life as an 88 car, am I right?
Yep, it's an 88 3.2 Carrera G50, so it's the last of the proper torsion bar cars.
I'm guessing it's not 3.2 now though.
It's a 3.4 high compression engine with different cams, different valves. And it's running on a full throttle body system as well, so it's completely programmable. It's up to 320 horsepower. Wow. From the 230 standard.
And suspension wise, that's not the same. It seems to ride a lot more race car like on the short track.
I've set it up for more predominantly track use, although it's a bit hard for on the road, but we've got some big hollow torsion bars in it. We've got rose joints on it. We've got phosphor bronze bushes instead of rubber bushes.
You managed to get some bigger brakes behind those Fuchsias?
We have. We've now got some big 6-pot aluminium front calipers and 4 pots on the rear, which only just fit underneath the 16-inch wheels.
So the signature thing for an ST, of course, is that the wider track that was allowed by the FIA in 1970. So I think a few manufacturers went a bit mad with flared arched race cars.
Big bubble arches.
Big bubble arches on the Fords and the Beamers. So they could get an 8-inch wheel under the
You
rear
could get up
arches.
to 9-inch on the rear. Tyres were big high profiles, although they called them low profiles, they were still a big chunky profile. So you could just about squeeze a 9-inch wheel under the back, whereas today we've managed to squeeze a 10-inch wheel under the back with a lower profile tyre. And then 9s on the front. We would have had 7s or 8s on the front.
Well, I've seen some original STs where they've got mismatched wheels. Fuchs didn't make a wheel big enough for the back when they first produced the racing car, is that right?
No, that's right. Mini Light did, so you'll see a lot of the old rally cars and a lot of replicas of them will have the Mini Lights on the back and the Fuchs on the front.
You didn't fancy mismatching it?
I don't personally like it, and
No,
I'm not really that fussed about having it as authentic as an ST.
No.
It's my own version.
You've cherry-picked the bits that you really like. So there's things like the rear lights off the 69?
911R.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to build a car which was an exact replica of an old race car or an old rally car. It's not just another recreation car. And a lot of them are just my favourite bits off the 911, which I think suit the car. They're not all period correct for that exact year, you know, but that's how I wanted it.
There's other little signature touches. I mean, this is a Rennsport touch I always associate with your builds, are these drilled handles. They did do that at the time, didn't they? They prepared cars for races. I mean, there was one extremely light car that I think they drilled everything. So that's in keeping, really, of an ST.
It is in keeping. There's a lot of work doing them because all the holes are tapered down. It's not just a straight cut hole. So it hasn't just been done for weight saving, it's done for aesthetics as well.
It's got a few luxuries and toys put back into it, which make it far more usable as a daily driver. You've got a sunroof. Now, some people might say that doesn't quite fit with a motorsport special, but I think there is at least one example that has a sunroof.
I think there were some which were built for sort of private owners which didn't race them.
No.
And they're the ones that are probably worth a lot of money now you know, as much as the ones that have got racing history, because they've never been sort of crashed or messed around with. The sunroof's there because the donor car had a sunroof, and it's nice to have. It's a small car inside.
I love the colour, by the way. I think that is perfect. It suits a 1970s car, absolutely. I would have chosen exactly this colour. But I know this was supposed to be a circuit-focused car, but I think the spot lamps are still my favourite feature. I think they really set it off. It's not that it needs them, of course, because it's got LED lights, but you don't see spot lamps on cars anymore, do you?
No, it's that 1970s Mark I Escort sort of thing, isn't it? With the big rally sibbies on the front of it. It's just that little bit of boy race. So.
As men of a certain age, I think we appreciate that.
I think my favourite bit of the car is just the actual shape, you know, just the sort of rounded shape of it. And I think that's why it's going to be quite successful with what we're doing with these ones at the moment. We've already got 4 in build at the moment because customers have seen this, but obviously it's not their favourite colour choice, so they're having similar ones built. We do them all in a period Porsche colour. If it's not a period Porsche colour, it will be a colour which they probably would have made back then.
Just 2 years after it was launched, the 911 was already dominating the European Rally Championship, winning the title in 66, 67 and 68. But on track, Porsche was struggling to find a configuration that was consistently competitive in the GT sports car class against the likes of BMW and Alfa Romeo. So ahead of the 1970 season, Porsche's motorsport boffins came up with the T package. Now this was a performance kit for the hottest model in their lineup, the 180 brake horsepower 911S. So to bring the car up to ST spec, ashtrays, stereos, carpets, they were all deleted to bring the car down to as low a possible weight as they could for FIA homologation. Aluminium bumpers, even aluminium doors and plexiglass and thinner gauge steel were all used in a relentless pursuit for lightness. In fact, one of the cars prepped for the automobile race Tour de France in 1970 tipped the scales at just 789 kilos. Although Porsche had set their sights on circuit racing, at least 3 works ST were prepared for rallying. They actually won the Monte Carlo Rally in 1970, taking 1st, 2nd and 4th spot. But perhaps the finest moment came in June 1970 when the 911 ST of Écurie Luxembourg won its class and came in 7th overall, just behind the camera car, the Porsche 908, which was being used by Steve McQueen to get footage for his film. Records are a bit sketchy, but Porsche themselves reckon about 24 motorsport STs were produced in 1970 and 71. In 72, the ST got fatter back tyres, it got a chin spoiler, and finally that 2.5 litre engine. And that of course paved the way for the legendary RS of 1973. But it's the 1971 car with its uncluttered lines and rounded rear end that this Rennsport car pays tribute to. It was never an official production model, it was tailored to customer specs. So there's a whiff of 911 outlaw about this ST that I rather like. I've already driven the previous demonstrator to this, which was an RSR tribute car, but that was a touring version in interpretation of a road-going version had Porsche ever built one. But this thing is Paul's track toy, and he's built it with the track in mind, so it drives completely differently. It's a completely different animal. It is beautifully balanced and it is so responsive and it sounds amazing. The gearbox is beautifully precise. They've managed to capture the essence of the ST, especially with the exterior styling cues, but they've made it drivable, they've made it a pleasure. You haven't got to rattle around like you might have done in 1969. What can I say? I think that soundtrack says it all. So if you're looking for a restored air-cooled 911 and not quite sure which camp to join, the reverential 911 purists or resto modders like Rennsport, it's worth remembering that over 70 years ago, Dr. Ferdinand Porsche himself famously said, "I couldn't find the sports car of my dreams, so I decided to build it myself." Commissioning Rennsport to build a bespoke classic that benefits from 50 years of hindsight and technical innovation means you can now own a 1970s 911 that's as wonderful to drive as it is to look at.